Right, I don't know how this teardown video will pan out. It might be only my friends get to see it. This is a teardown of what was quite a nice little electronic point of sale monitor, which isn't showing up on camera at all. There we go. Yeah, quite a nice little monitor it was, but unfortunately in storage it got broken. So, we remove various parts. You see it's got the standard VESA mountings there. VESA, video electrical something, blah blah blah. The cable, now this is not a normal monitor, as you see it's quite small. It's an electronic point of sale monitor. It has an unusual high density connector there. This end has your standard VGA, RS-232 serial comms, and a mini DIN plug. Now I'm not sure whether the mini DIN is for mouse or keyboard or something specific. Probably something specific. I could never get the touch input working. Lots of odd things stuck in it. Just removing screws one at a time. I'll get that later. Don't know whether the metal stand will be of any use. I don't think so, because it doesn't mount on the standard VESA mountings there. The base is actually quite heavy. I might hold on to it for a few weeks. If it doesn't get used, throw it out. That last screw has disappeared now. There's some more screws there. They go into, it's quite well built, they go into nice covers. Just throwing the covers out. Now, I don't know how to get this apart. I see nothing along the lines of, obviously that screw that I didn't take out has disappeared inside. Yeah, I see nothing to take this apart. This might be a very boring teardown video if I can't get the damn thing apart. Oh, there's some screws. And some more. I think they're dead moths. Bizarre. But there are some screws, yay. Hopefully this should give me a clue, at least, as to how to get this apart. Okay, I'm sensing something down in this corner here. Sorry if you can't see this, but there we go. Front panel bezel. Right, there's your actual touch screen. I believe it's touch screen, or was. It's definitely, very definitely broken, which is a great shame. As I say, it was a lovely monitor. It got stuff got stacked on top of it, and electronics doesn't react well to that, or at least monitors don't. This is mainly just wanted to get rid of it, tear down, so I might not be concentrating too much. bolt now. monitors or the camera's catching some of this at least. So nothing worse than a teardown video where you can't see any of what's going on. Right, now it should lift out of there. Right, okay, interesting. That's released it entirely from its housing, which can now go out. Thus. Now, you can see you've got here plugs that just connect the under panel controls. That's the main power on off and indicator, and that was the menu and horizontal width, stuff like that. Nothing of real interest. Right, now here we must have to remove this connector, this cover. There's all the electronics for the monitor. I can see exactly what's happening now. Now, this here is a very handy device. This is the backlight inverter. Now it looks like you've only got 4-wire connection. Now usually 4-wire connection, I don't know. I've seen hundreds of wires or 4-wire. Usually this generates, well not usually, this always generates the high voltage. Oh, I see, there's 2 ground wires. 2 grounds, so it's common. No, it's not. That one might not even be used. I'll have to do some tracing. There's the power, obviously. F1. There's the ground. One of them's going to be a brightness trigger. Or one of them might be a trigger, and one of them might be a variable brightness control. I will do some experimenting around if the tube itself has survived, which we will find later on in the teardown. Cut down. These are just the little bits of cable that were connecting the front panel controls. And what you'll find interesting, you see this a lot in laptops, and now apparently in slimline monitors like this, where they need a screened cable but don't want to go with a bulky pre-made cable. They put like a little, it's a foil, it's not really foil, it's a woven mesh type of coating that's got adhesive on it. They just stick it round the cable. They don't even bother to actually ground it, because it's bare metal. When it's taped to the bare metal, the capacitance to ground picks up enough, or drains enough of any interference, that it is effectively screened. Now we'll just remove the screws holding the board in. I don't know. Oh, this one must be just plugged on. There was another screw. Yeah, it was just plugged in. Oh, it's the connector and driver for the CRT. This is the, not CRT, for the display tube. I'm showing my age, aren't I? It's for the display panel. No, I'm not going to edit that out. I'm proud of my age. I earned every day of it. Right. This is the cable connecting to the actual front flat panel, which must handle signals out and in, because obviously it's a touch screen. There's a little ferrite bead on it. There's not many controls really. Not many wires. Oh, dump that screw on the floor then. As you can see, there's not a lot here. VLSI chip, GM Zani Genesis. Never heard of that chip manufacturer. Few inductors, power supply, filtering, and yeah, filtering, capacitors and inductors. The input signal, and that's it. Nothing really much to say about that. That, as they say, is all she wrote. This is the connector I'm interested in. This is the bit most likely to be useful. But we have to get the front panel off. Ah, it's a Hyundai, or Hyundai, however you pronounce it, display. Oh, there's screws on the side, and they are very small screws. So I will try to quickly grasp the correct screwdriver. There we go. Got it. Having a rack of screwdrivers helps when you're trying to do a teardown and fairly accurately. Now, as you can see, this is very like a laptop display. That screwdriver isn't quite right, but it's close enough for government work. All this scrap steel will be sent for recycling. All the scrap steel from stuff that I throw out goes for recycling. Don't know why that screw won't come out. Nor will that one. I think they're stripped. Actually from manufacture, which is a little bit odd. Oh, I can't be bothered with that, to be honest. The gain is so tiny. But yes, as you can see, now there's a flexible circuit board under here. We'll have a go at that. I'll just get a scalpel with which to cut these. That. There we go. These are the two circuits. Not the two circuits. These are the boards that control the display. Now, for some reason, I cannot see any touch controls yet. Very odd. I know it's a touch screen. A trick that's not recommended there, which was to try to use... What I want to do is get this out in one piece if I can. These screws are so tiny, I haven't got a screwdriver that will fit them, so I'm going to use a big heavy duty pair of shears here to try to cut the cover. That crunch didn't sound healthy. No, the tube's gone, I can hear it. I actually have got a spare tube though. The tube was probably gone because the display is cracked there. You can see the display actually bends, which a healthy one shouldn't. I mean, I'm saying it's gone, it may be just pretending to have gone. We'll see. There we go. Almost certainly has broken, that is. But if it has, that will be pretty much the end of this teardown. Oh yes, she's gone in dozens of places. That's the bit, like I said with the laptop display, that's the bit that contains mercury. Now this circuit board is FR4, which which is the material they're made of. All those connectors were soldered onto there. Very, very thin FR4. But there's a little chip on there, there's some capacitors, an inductor, very tiny surface mount inductor there. And nothing else of interest. This is the one for the Y sustain, or Y control boards. And I think I can't be bothered to take this panel any further apart, to be honest. Oh, maybe I can, I don't know. Let's have a look. Let's just see if I can. It's got so many tiny little screws. I mean, you've seen it before anyway in the laptop panel teardown. Yeah, I'm not going to bother any further because it's broken anyway. I don't want broken glass laying around. I will, however, keep the connectors for the high voltage there, which I believe that board was over here, yes. Yeah, this probably runs on 5 volts or so. 33 volt capacitor on there. That doesn't really help me because there's no way that 33 volts feeding that. There was no, I don't believe there was any. No, they're too big to be part of a power supply. Or no, they might be. Where did this connect? Oh, there we go. It connected to that one there. Well, it is quite close to there. But it looks like this is connected to 3 volt. There's a little pin jumper there connected to 3 volts. We shall see. But I will probably do a video later of this in operation, in theory, if I can get it into operation. If not, I won't.